Here we go, Andy. Episode 15 of our FDS NFL program. And Andy, what a week it's been. Big divisional games on the weekend.
Big.
Big.
It's huge. Yeah. And oddly enough, I called them all right this time, finally.
Did you?
No.
Oh.
No.
Well, we have something bigger than divisional games this week.
What's that, right?
On First Down Sports, we have something big that's about to happen.
Okay.
We're going to introduce a special guest this week.
Right.
For people that are watching this, you see him right here. This kid is decked out in Patriots gear from head to toe.
Yep.
This kid reached out to us through Instagram over our FDS local sports program when we were covering high school sports, and asked how he could be involved with the podcast. We got him doing some reporting for us on the local sports. And Seth Foster, welcome to your first podcast with First Down Sports.
Hey, thank you very much. I'm really excited to be on it. So, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, there you go. First time ever on this show have we had a Patriots fan who can say, I've been a fan my entire life and not be lying.
And not be lying.
So this is a big deal.
There you go.
It's a big deal.
There you go.
Yep.
What year were you born again?
I was born in 2005, and quick fact, the day after I was born, Pats won the Super Bowl. So, you know, I'm a little good luck charm.
Look at that. Wow. 2 years before you were born, I was graduating university, so I'm really feeling young here. All right. Okay.
I won't tell you what I was doing.
Yeah.
All right.
As always.
Before we get going, we got to talk about our sponsors.
Yeah, if you need a beer, and Seth, you don't.
No,
but if anybody else does, no matter what day of the week is, go get yourself a Moose Light, because that stuff's scary good.
Scary good.
All right, you'll find out someday.
Yeah.
3-4 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
5 maybe. Anyway.
5,
yeah, and if you need a clothing with logos on it, not these logos, but more like these logos, go see our buddies, the Doyles at Doyle Corporate Image.
There you go. Doyle's rule.
The Doyle's rule.
Doyle's rule. All right, let's get into talking some football. We got a lot of subjects here tonight. First of all, I just want to recap the scores from the weekend. In game number 1, we had the Colts-Chiefs. Chiefs won that game 31-13 in a very surprising, lackluster effort by the Colts.
Lackluster effort by the Colts, and then probably a surprising defensive effort on the other side of the ball.
Oh, yeah. Defense was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Rams knocked off the Cowboys at home 30-22.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any big surprises in that game.
No, I was actually expecting it to be a wider margin. How about you? Did you catch any of these, Seth?
Well, I'm glad to see the Cowboys out, I must say. ABC, anything but Cowboys.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. It goes a little different than that here on this show. For the record, with Ray, I don't hate the Patriots nearly as much as these Bills fans, but I am a little bit sick of seeing them.
Yeah.
A little more sick of seeing them than the Cowboy. ABC. Wow, ABC.
I like that.
Okay, there we
I'm
go.
going to write that down because my saying, Seth, is ABP.
Yeah, I heard of that one.
Yeah.
Saw it on Instagram, commented some trash. You know.
I got to tell you, Seth's rolls off the tongue a little better. I mean, for obvious reasons. So
That is hilarious.
yeah.
All right, well, speaking about the Patriots knock off the Chargers 41-28. We're going to get into this game in a few seconds here, so we'll talk about details. But, again, I was a little bit surprised at how strong the Patriots came out in this game, and really Phillip Rivers. But let's save that for a few minutes. And then in the last game, which was an interesting game. Eagles came out, put 14 on the board right away, and I was like, oh boy, we got a big Magic Foles is on a roll again.
Yeah.
And they end up losing this game 14-20 on a last 2 minutes of the game. He throws a pass to Aguilar, and it goes right through his hands, like hit him right in the hands.
I thought it was Elshon Jeffrey.
Yeah, Jeffrey. Sorry, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Hit him right in the hands and goes through his hands and intercepted. Game over.
Yeah, it's tough too. You got to feel bad for the guy. He took it pretty hard, and feels like he let the team down, everything like that. But again, that goes to show the magic of Nick Foles is also the luck of Nick Foles, and they ran out of luck.
Yeah. You know what? We're going to get right into our Nick Foles conversation here, but
let's do it.
I don't know if you saw this in the game, guys, but at the end of the game, Jeffries is on the sideline. He's very upset. Carson Wentz goes over and says a few words to him, and Jeffries just kind of shakes it off. Foles came over, put his arm around, and I mean, Jeffries was in tears.
Yeah.
There's a special connection Foles has with these guys that's different than Wentz. Wentz just doesn't have the connection Foles does.
Well, I guess so, Ray, but I think maybe you might be stretching that a little bit too. If you put yourself in their shoes for a second, I mean, he didn't just let Carson Wentz down the same way he let Nick Foles down. Nick Foles threw the ball. Yeah. So I could see how that would prompt that emotional response, as well. But Nick Foles was a class act running around the whole field after the game, and consoling everybody, and he even posed for a picture with Drew Brees.
Yeah.
No smile on his face, but posed for it. And, Nick Foles is a class act.
He is.
Yep.
All right. Well, we've been talking about Nick Foles and the fact what would happen in Philadelphia if Nick Foles took this team back to the Super Bowl as far as the quarterback controversy goes, right?
Yeah.
I think there were some Philadelphia executives, sitting up in a luxury booth somewhere in the stadium, grinning ear to ear that this game ended the way it did because now there's no quarterback controversy in Philadelphia. I think Nick Foles has played his last game in Philadelphia. What do you guys think?
What do you think, Seth?
Well, I don't know. It's a toughie because Carson Wentz is injury prone. He's young, so they can get a lot for him as well. Nick Foles probably, again, like Ray said, he's got a really strong bond with his guys. So, I don't know. You got to have the conversation. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think this would go either way, Ray. It would have been... I'm less worried about it now with the season ending the way that it did. But listen, Carson Wentz is the superior player. There's no way around it. But the Eagles play better with Nick Foles.
Yeah.
So, that comes down to coaching. That comes down to, like, you name it, relationships on the team. But that's something that you have to be able to repair as a coaching staff is, this guy's clearly the better player and the better quarterback and gives us the most options. Yet this guy steps in, the whole team galvanizes around him, right? So to me, that's on coaching. So if I'm Philadelphia, and again, you weren't up in that booth where they were all high-fiving like you just mentioned there, but and nor was I. But if I'm Philadelphia, here's probably the discussion I'm having is this: how do we feel about Carson Wentz and his injury issues? If we feel that this is going to continue, and these are going to plague him for his entire career, we actually, it may be in our best interest to throw some feelers out there and find out, could we potentially even recoup what we gave up to trade up and get Carson Wentz? Because if so, you're going to be able to sell that to your fans right now by just saying we're handing the ball to Nick Foles, who's a hero in Philly. And despite how this game ended, he's still a hero. And he would, because of Nick Foles being there, the fans would, I can't imagine the fans would take that too rough. So, like Seth said, it's a conversation worth having. They should explore both options here.
All right, so let me ask you this. Based on what the fans have seen from Carson Wentz and based on what they've seen from Nick Foles, I know there's magic this time of year with Nick Foles, but it seemed, Andy, even last year after the Super Bowl, by the time September came around, the fans had forgotten what Nick Foles did, and they were ready for Wentz to get under center and get going again. Do you think anything different this, Seth? Do you think the fans will forget about the success pretty quick that Foles has had and be ready for Wentz to get going again? Or do you think now the fans are starting to turn and want Nick Foles to be the guy?
Well, I'm a Boston sports fan, generally except hockey. So I know in Boston, they don't like it if you don't perform well. If you perform well one year and then you are bad the rest, I think they'll forget about you pretty quickly. And in Philly, I think it's very similar. So I think if Nick Foles doesn't perform next year, if they keep him, they'll completely forget about what they did with him. Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you look at the stats, if you look at the games, Carson Wentz played amazing his entire career.
Yeah.
So it's not like he was slumping or anything like that. At this point, it's mainly injuries. And that's not the story for Nick Foles. Like I said, and we talked about it last show, I question Nick Foles' love for the game, and I feel bad doing that, but there's just something about it. I don't know that he wants to be the man somewhere. He almost retired.
He did state that he wants to be a starter in this league again.
Good. Okay, well, you know what? Just him
saying
that changes my mind on that a little bit. But the thing is, if you go back and look at Nick Foles' career, this is not his first time starting. He's been the starter. Remember his first run with Philly, where he set NFL records, and then his play completely fell off the planet.
Yeah.
Goes to Los Angeles. He was with the Rams, wasn't he, for a while?
Yeah.
That was a debacle. Nick Foles is one of the
in St. Louis, though.
St.
That
Louis,
was
yeah.
in St. Louis.
But Nick Foles is one of the more inconsistent quarterbacks in the league, and there's a reason why he gained the reputation as a journeyman. And he was close to retirement. And that's the thing, is a team that's going to make a huge financial commitment or give up a lot of assets to get him on their team to be their starter next year. How do you look at the inconsistency and you think, which guy are we getting?
Yeah.
So, and I think that's why the market wasn't hotter last year for him than it was.
Well, there's 5 teams that I went through the teams today. There's 5 teams that in my mind are going to be looking for quarterbacks in 2019. Jacksonville Jaguars, Miami Dolphins, Washington, Denver, and the New York Giants. All these guys could be looking for a new starting quarterback to bridge until they get that rookie quarterback to come in down the road.
Yeah.
And there's 2 quarterbacks that are going to be really, out there on the market for these teams, and that's Foles and Flacco.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 2 of these teams will have those guys starting for them come September, in my opinion.
You would hope so.
Yeah.
And I imagine, too, because this quarterback draft is not nearly as strong as last year either, right?
Yeah.
There's only one, I think, consensus top 5 pick quarterback. He's not even the consensus number 1 overall pick. And then, 1 or 2 other guys that might sneak into the first round. So definitely, I think Foles and Flacco will both be highly sought after. It depends on what the Eagles plan to do with Foles again, right? Because they still control his rights.
Well, I believe he's a free agent at the end of the season.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he's a free agent.
There's no team option or anything? I think you're right.
He's an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year.
All right.
Well, I know the Eagles are trying to extend him so they can get a trade, but
yeah. Well, if they do that, that's a smart move for them. But I don't think they're going to be able to ask for what they were holding out for last year.
No, there's no way they're going to have $20 million wrapped up in a backup quarterback. No, there's no way.
No.
All right, let's move on to a subject Seth is going to love here.
Oh, yeah.
Some people in the media, maybe myself included, have been referencing...
He identifies himself as a guy in the media now, folks.
Look at that. Have been referencing that Brady's done.
Yeah, you've been saying it.
Coming down the stretch, he hasn't looked sharp. He hasn't been the Tom Brady of the past. Gronk hasn't been the same guy in 2018, 2019. And with 2 weeks off against the Chargers, Tom Brady came out and masterfully just picked the Chargers apart.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to talk about the Chargers defense in a few seconds here. But he just dismantled the Chargers. Brady comes out 34 for 44, 343 yards, 1 touchdown. But on top of that, the Patriots came out and pounded the ball. James White carries the ball for 97 yards. He had 97 yards receiving.
Yeah.
Michelle had 129 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns, and Burkhead also had a touchdown as well.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think about Tom Brady's play, Seth?
Well, he's a beauty. And
he's a beauty.
He's a beauty.
Some guy in the media, like you said, Ray, asking him after the game what it's like showing these guys that, like, he's showing the guys in the media that he's still there. And he responded with, in his words, "I just like winning." So I think that shows you he wants to win a few more times before he goes out.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, Ray, when you like to say that he's done and that he's fallen off and everything, that it really is wishful thinking, right?
You're just hating.
There's a little
not hating, hoping.
It's
There's
yeah,
hating.
yeah.
There's hating and hoping.
It's hoping. So Seth, like Ray, sometimes I think his heart is located in his head because sometimes he makes predictions based on what he really hopes will happen versus what he actually thinks will happen. And to me, when he makes those comments about Brady and Brady being finished or whatever or falling off, that's what we're dealing with there, right? So there definitely has been a decline in Brady's play. There definitely has been a decline in the consistency of that well-oiled machine that is the Patriots. But at the end of the day, can they get it together for a game? They can get it together for a game. And I think they can still get it together for a game as well as they ever could. And I think even Tom Brady, at 80% of his peak, which I think you would admit he was beyond 80% in that Chargers game, is going to be able to pilot that well-oiled machine to a win. So,
all right, let me talk about Chargers for a second. First of all,
now he's going to blame the Chargers for the success.
Well, listen, they came out in the 7 defensive back strategy that they used against Flacco.
Which,
okay,
you mean against Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, sorry, against Lamar Jackson,
the most mobile quarterback in the league versus the most statuesque, lead-footed quarterback.
That's the strategy they came up with.
Yeah,
I heard a stat from Sunday that 82% of Brady's passes were under 10 yards.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
And he'd be proud of that.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't understand as a defensive coordinator why you're playing off the line of scrimmage on these wide receivers. Brady's going to be putting 80% of his passes. A big chunk of Brady's throws are going to be under 10 yards. Why not have those wide receivers jamming, or the DBs jamming the wide receivers on the line, get them off their routes right off the bat, because Brady's a timing quarterback. Everything's timed with him, Seth. Like, he'll take 3 steps, boom, Edelman. 3 steps, boom.
Slants up the middle.
Everything.
Yeah.
Get on the line of scrimmage and force those guys off the route. I don't understand why they're playing off the route. And then you got your linebackers, right? Whether you got 2 linebackers in there, 3 linebackers, or 4 linebackers, depending on the set, right? Don't have these guys playing 10, 12 yards back behind their linemen. Get them 5, 10 yards tops off the line of scrimmage. Shut down the run. Make Brady beat you deep. And I think you got a better success against him than what the Chargers came out and did. And here's the other thing. And a number of analysts have talked about this, but the Chargers did not change their strategy throughout the game.
Yeah.
Even at halftime, they could have made halftime adjustments, and they made no changes to their strategy whatsoever. And then on top of that,
this thing's going to tip over soon. You're stacking so much on top of it.
But this is my last point about the Chargers. When you look at championship quarterbacks throughout the years, calm, cool, relaxed on the football field. Brady's a great example. Joe Montana, even better example. When you look at the top quarterbacks of the league, cool and calm. And Phillip Rivers is an emotional wreck on the football field. I mean, he is completely out of his mind on a football field. There's no way he was in the mindset to win that football game.
Okay.
From the start.
All right.
What do you think?
Well, you covered about 5 different topics there in that.
Sorry,
hard to follow a little bit, right?
I had to rant there. That's my little Chargers rant from the weekend.
All right. Well, how about this? I'll touch on the defense, Seth, and then I'll throw it over to you for your thoughts on Phillip Rivers. So what I think it is, Ray, and I certainly can't answer that, but a lot of defensive coordinators are scared to get beat for the big play. And, the book on Brady, a lot of people like to say it's all dink and dunk and everything. Listen, Brady is the master of taking what the defense gives him.
Yeah.
And what they were giving him is the short routes, right? I mean, it's not just force him to beat you long. If you give him intermediate routes, if you give him midfield routes, he'll take them. So I think the strategy, they're so scared of giving up the big play that the strategy is make him dink and dunk his way down the field, get him into 3rd down, and hope you get a stop. Yeah. And clearly that wasn't working for them, but I don't think they had a better plan. And to me, that's probably what goes into playing off as opposed to the bump and run. You don't want to get beat for the big play because Brady will recognize the mismatches. He'll recognize what he knows what the defense is going to do.
Yeah.
And if you give him a longer play, he'll get you. So to me, that's what I think there. I think there's plenty of examples of fiery quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls as well, Ray. But point well taken around the calm demeanor of Brady. Not that Brady. I mean, to say that Brady is always calm. I mean,
listen, Brady does have his meltdowns as well.
Yeah, absolute meltdowns.
But you can't do it on every play in a football game.
And you're right. Phillip Rivers is pretty hot-headed out there, and when things aren't going well, clearly it like he's beat red.
What did he have? Did he have 3 or 5 delay game penalties? Because he's in shotgun, he's up to the line, he goes back to shotgun, he comes up yelling at the line. Next thing you know, there's a delay game, and he freaks out at the referee.
He gets praised for that all the time. He goes up, he reads the defense, he one hard snap, backs up, changes the play again and everything like that, and he gets so many snaps off with 1 second on the clock, and he gets praised for that all the time. That was not working for the Patriots whatsoever. And I'm telling you, that's coaching. That's Belichick saying, hey, we're disguising what we're going to do. When he goes up and he snaps and the defense adjusts and changes position, do it slowly and keep moving so that he runs out of time. Seth, as a Patriots fan, let's hear your thoughts. So you're watching this game and you're seeing Phillip Rivers completely losing his mind and having a meltdown and getting all rowdy and upset out there. What are your feelings towards that guy as a Patriots fan watching him do that out there? You guys are up big. What are you thinking? Just shut up?
Well, pretty honestly, I hate to say it, but I'm laughing.
Yeah.
That's uncalled for on a football field, I think. I mean, I don't know. It's fourth quarter. They're down like crazy, and it's third, fourth down maybe. He's still yelling at the refs.
Yeah.
I think you got to take it at some point. Like, as a Patriots fan, I almost feel bad a little bit, but I'm obviously happy we still won. So
yeah. No, that's obviously a big part of what has prevented Phillip Rivers from getting over the top in the big spots.
Well, I will tell you this, Sandy. I believe this game is the exact reason why Phillip Rivers does not get into the Hall of Fame.
Okay. That'll be an interesting. You're right. He's not a no-brainer. He's not a surefire Hall of Famer. He's definitely not a first ballot Hall of Famer. But quarterbacks, I won't be surprised if he eventually makes his way, especially if he plays 2 or 3 more years. Because at some point, you're just going to rack up so many stats they can't keep you out. And it's not like his stats are not mind-blowing as it is, right? So if he keeps playing, I won't be surprised. But you're right. It's not a no-brainer, and he's not a first ballot guy. Yeah.
All right. Seth, one more question on the Patriots. We always talk on the Patriots, whether it's Tom Brady or if it's Belichick's coaching. Who won this game? Was it Brady or Belichick?
Belichick.
Belichick?
Yep, and that's because he tells his defense, like, exactly, I forget who it was. I think it was Andy that said it. Just keep moving, and you'll freak him out. Yeah. So, Belichick all the way.
I mean, it's both at the end of the day, but if you have to assign the most credit to one, I've always given that to Belichick. And I mean, it's a debate that will go on forever.
Well, in the words of a Patriots fan, Brady's not that good. It's all Belichick.
No.
Oh, whoa.
Brady's good.
I knew he was setting you up for that.
All right.
What's up?
Next topic. Sarah Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen to this. 46-year-old woman.
Mm-hmm.
She's the first female to ever ref a college bowl game. Okay. First woman to ever work an NFL regular season game. And now she's become the first female to ever work an NFL playoff game.
That's a pioneer, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Pioneer. She's been officiating for 20 years, Andy.
Yeah.
She's a mother of 3 boys. Okay. And after Sunday's games, my wife and I were on social media, and I have to tell you, some of the comments that I saw on social media about this woman, I was absolutely flabbergasted on. And I did engage in a couple conversations. I'm not going to mention their names because it's not worth mentioning their names, but I'm really shocked at stuff that people say on social media.
Yeah, so I didn't see any of that. You were telling me about it. Listen, I saw the story she was going to ref in a playoff game. I thought it was awesome. I shared the link out there. There was mainly positive reactions to that share. There was one individual, again, I won't mention his name, and the only thing I noticed is that instead of reacting with a thumbs up or a yay or whatever like that, and maybe you can help me with the emoji, what emojis mean here, Seth, because to me, there's way too many smiley faces doing way too many things these days.
Yeah.
But he did the one that looks like they were laughing so hard they were crying.
The LOL emoji?
I guess so, yeah. So with the tears of the laughing and everything like that. And to me, that was pretty disrespectful, and I did not want to engage in any conversation as to why that person reacted that way.
Yeah.
But then I watched the game, and I've seen her officiate NFL games before. She's in total control out there.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't. There's nobody messing with her. She knows exactly what she's doing. Every referee blows the odd call, and I'm sure that she has as well. I noticed nothing in that game that would be on her, and I kind of stayed away from social media, I guess, not specifically to avoid any chatter about how Sarah Thomas did in the game, but just in general. And so I didn't see any of this. Yeah. I didn't see the negative, but none of it surprises me, obviously. Yeah.
Listen, I mean, from what I saw on television, and you know what it's like with the officials, you only see when a player's getting in an official's face or whatever the case may be. But they had one play right on the Patriots bench, and she made her call, and she stood her ground. She was there pointing to the ground. She made her call. She stuck with it, and that was it. We moved on to the next play. Mm-hmm. I don't care if an official's male, female, transgender. Right, if they want to, if you've been officiating for 20 years,
she's qualified
and worked
to
your way up the ladder to be in the game, you deserve to be in the game.
It's a shame. It's a shame that she's the only one. So, and obviously that's going to change. But yeah, she did great out there. I mean, in a time where, let's be honest, the NFL basically has an officiating crisis. People are saying, should they be full time? Should they not? The percentage of the tenured referees that have retired over the last couple of years, how much attention the referees and the calls that they're missing out there has gotten this entire season. She's been the best story of the and so any negative commentary or anything about her in a playoff game is stupid. Yeah. And I'm glad I didn't see any of it.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Seth, any other comments there?
Well, I was on social media. I was seeing lots of positive stuff about it. I don't read the comments because it's not worth my time.
That's where the trolls live.
Yep, and it's very discouraging, even though it's not directed towards myself. So I'm just happy to see that happening.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You ever see somebody sitting out by the lake just with some bread, just feeding the birds? Ray likes to feed the trolls in the comment. That's why he's seeing this stuff. He likes to dip his toe in those comments every once in a while, see what's going on.
Hey,
and
you know what?
And
sometimes
every once in a while, you can't resist, but stir up the water a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta just stick up for her. So good job, Ray. Proud of you.
Yeah.
Great job, Ray.
I don't like bullies, Seth. I don't like bullies.
There you go.
All right, Jason Garrett, Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
All right, we already talked about the fact they went rolling into L.A., lost another playoff game in Jason Garrett's lustrous career in the playoffs. And right off the bat, I wondered if this is it for Jason Garrett. Now, Jerry Jones was on the radio today. He was on 105.3 The Fan out of Dallas. And they asked him if Garrett was going to get an extension on his contract. And Jerry Jones came back saying that had he been released on Black Monday, he would have had 5 offers from current teams today to be their head coach. Mm-hmm. And he says he just doesn't see a better option than Jason Garrett as a coach right now.
Okay.
Then they asked him, well, are you going to give him an extension? He says, well, I can't give him an extension yet. We've got to do our due diligence to see if there's another option out there.
Yeah.
But what do you think? Come September, come the draft, is Jason Garrett going to be still with the Dallas Cowboys?
Seth, go ahead, and then I'll respond.
Well, I don't like the Cowboys, but I'm going to give my unbiased opinion here.
ABC.
Yeah, that's right. I think Jason Garrett, in my opinion, is with the Romo and Bryant era. So I think they need to get rid of him as soon as they can because Zeke and Dak are great players and they need a fresh start with a new coach. So they've had 3 years with Jason Garrett. They've done nothing. They've made it to the playoffs, but they've lost. So I think they're still young, so if they get a new coach now, they can maybe start a good run and maybe get a championship. I hope not, but you never know.
Yeah, I think he will be still with the Cowboys. I think Jerry Jones saying that he'd have 5 offers. You know what, Ray? He'd have an offer. So like some teams are looking for that CEO type head coach who does not call plays on either side of the ball, kind of like a Tomlin, right?
Yeah.
Now Tomlin's a fiery sort of let the guys work things out on their own type of coach, where Garrett's it's the same minus the fiery, right? Like his he doesn't have a demeanor that he's in full control out there quite as much. But I think that's what Jones is comfortable with is he's got such a long history with Jason Garrett, right back to Jason Garrett being a backup player for the Cowboys, right?
Yeah.
So he's so comfortable with him that Jerry, I think, figures out a way constantly in his mind, and maybe rightfully so, to blame the lack of talent on the team in certain areas or the coordinators. Like, I mean, it's not like they don't bring in different coordinators every year to work with Jason Garrett, right?
Exactly.
So, is Jerry ready to say, no, this is Jason Garrett, and we need a different type of head coach? I'm going to say no until I see it. Would he have had 5 offers? From I guess there were 5 openings, right? So basically what he's trying to say is Jason Garrett would be the number one choice for every team. That was, maybe there's more than 5, but I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But I think he would have received consideration.
But I think Green Bay might have looked him up.
I think they say that your new head coach is the opposite of your last head coach. Right. And I don't think, aside from not being an offensive-minded guy like Mike McCarthy was, I think everything else about them probably a little too similar.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
There you go. There's some Cowboys talk for some of our Cowboy listeners, like the one and only Tracy Lightfoot.
Oh, and Roger
Dodger.
Yeah.
Roger
And my grandfather.
And your grandfather?
And Seth's grandfather.
Oh, and my uncle.
And your uncle?
Well, we
All
hope those guys are listeners. Awesome.
Well, listen, we got to get over to some odds and ends. And as we talk about the odds and ends, the first thing I need to talk about, Andy, is our FDS second bracket playoff challenge.
Yep.
Not sure if you saw the posts on the weekend. Jeannie B is currently 8-0 in the bracket challenge. Hasn't lost a game yet.
She's killing it.
Killing it. Second place, there's 2 people tied for second place. There's a 7-year-old kid from Charlottetown, PEI. He's 7-1. Matt Dupuis. Some people call him Matty Ice. Dupuis, he's 7-1 right now. And then there's yours truly. I'm also at 7-1. But guess what, Seth?
What?
I'm out. Because I have the exact same picks as Jeannie the rest of the way. I can't catch her. But this weekend, Maddie has the Patriots to win. Jeannie B has the Chiefs to win, and they both have the Saints winning the Super Bowl.
Matt's a smart kid.
So, Matt, if the Patriots win this weekend, he will tie Jeannie B in the competition.
There you go.
But if the Chiefs win, Jeannie B is the
Has it in the bag.
FDS Bracket Challenge champion before even the Super Bowl.
Before it's even over.
It's remarkable.
That is
It's
remarkable. Well done, Jeannie.
All right, let's get into a couple odds and ends here. Adam Gase.
So, Seth, I don't know if you've seen any of this, but Adam Gase was introduced as the new head coach in New York, and he's instantly become like a meme sensation.
Ooh, I like that.
So he got up there, and it's I'm not really sure what was going on, but his mannerisms, he was staring all over the room like he was preoccupied. I don't even know what to do, but my favorite of them that I'm going to get you to watch really quickly here now without any sound, my favorite is this one. They hashtagged it tacos, and somebody went ahead and they digitally put a taco in the video that his eyes follow around. Now, if you're seeing this, that taco's not really there, but his eyes are really doing that during the press conference. So you got to be wondering what's going on here. Like, even this guy right here is looking at him, going, "What's our coach looking at?
What is he doing?" That's odd.
We're not sure. So here's the thing: when you hire a brand new this goes on for quite a while. So when you hire yourself a new head coach, they say a head coach can win the press conference, right? Now, winning the press conference is the easiest thing in the world, right? Greatest fans in the world. We got to get back to winning. Whatever their record was last year, that's unacceptable. It's really easy to win a press conference, so that's not really a sign of good things to come. But boy, when you lose the press conference, there's something to worry about here.
Something to worry about.
I don't know that he lost the press conference, Ray. I don't know that he was really there.
I don't know
what's going on. I don't think he attended it.
Did he talk?
There were words.
Okay.
Yeah, in and around those expressions. Yeah.
I just want to say, in this world, I've often wondered if there was other life forms among us on this planet. And if there is, we witnessed it in that press conference.
That was when you go home, Seth, later, watch it and listen to what he has to say. It kind of what he's talking about distracts you a little bit from the facial expressions, but not much.
Okay, so Seth, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You're a player for the New York Jets. You're sitting at home on your couch watching your coach speak, your new coach, and this is what you see.
Yeah.
How focused are you for playing for this guy to kick off the season?
Am I seeing the taco or?
No. You wouldn't be seeing the taco.
No taco, just live?
But you would notice very, very quickly, because you're a young guy in the NFL at this point who's very well connected with social media and memes and everything like that. You're immediately seeing the taco video.
You see,
it's popping up everywhere.
He's making up all over the place. There's
right.
Butterfly one.
Yeah.
Do you want to play for this guy now?
Well, actually, yes.
All right.
I love
That's a
loose.
good answer.
I love loose coaches.
Yeah.
Loose coaches are great. I have coaches in different sports sometimes. When they're loose, it gets the guys loose.
Yeah.
And you play better when you're loose.
Nice.
That's all I think.
By loose, you mean a few screws loose? Is that what you're trying to say? There's something going on.
I mean, you got to have your balance. You got to be serious about it. And this guy could still be serious, but I don't know what he's doing. He's from another Earth, like you said.
Yeah, something's going on here. Yeah.
But I'd be excited. I'd be excited to meet him. Holy.
Yeah.
I wonder if he'd do that while in a conversation with you.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, we're going to know that it's working next Sam Darnold press conference, and he's sitting there just kind of looking around and everything. Yeah.
Was he looking around? Or my prediction, guys, is he was following a fly.
I don't know what he was doing.
I don't know. There was nothing there. Anyways, yeah. He didn't want to be there, I don't think. But
his head wasn't moving, just the eyes.
Yeah. And that's what was so interesting about it. I mean, anyways, yeah. Next topic.
All right, next topic. Here we go. Andy, we said no more rookie quarterback conversations. No more.
This year, yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Well, thanks to a good friend of the show, Scotty Chisholm,
we've
got to talk about rookie quarterbacks.
Well, he's not a rookie yet.
Well,
so we're sticking to our words.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray. Okay. This kid just declared for the NFL draft. Yeah.
I did not know that. Excited.
Happened today. Declared for the NFL draft.
Yeah.
Oklahoma Heisman Trophy quarterback. He comes in, Andy, at 5'11".
Yeah.
Half an inch taller than Baker, yet they're saying he's too short.
Half an inch taller. I will not address the Baker comments because that would be discussing a rookie quarterback, which we would not do. Yeah.
Okay, so half an inch taller, but they're saying that this guy's so small he doesn't deserve to be in the first round.
First round, yeah.
What do you think about Kyler Murray coming out for the NFL draft?
Well, just you mentioned Baker. I mean, a guy of Baker's size who he paves the way for you to continue to look at talent, like the right intangibles and so on and so forth in a smaller frame. So he opens the door for that. I'm hearing that somebody will do it. Somebody will take him in the first round. I think it'll be more of a Lamar Jackson type thing where somebody trades up in the back end of the first round to get him. The story I heard, so him as a player, I mean, for the first time in my life as a Browns fan since 2008, I was not watching college football to watch the quarterbacks. I was watching the most exciting games because I'm not worried about the Browns drafting a quarterback finally for the first time since 2008.
Yeah.
I didn't see a lot of Kyler Murray. I know he's the Heisman Trophy winner, but I didn't see a lot of Oklahoma games. So I mean, obviously, I have seen him play. I don't have a tremendous opinion on him as an NFL prospect. Immediately, you look at him, you think he's a little too small. But otherwise, he's got the arm strength. They say he's not as accurate as Baker, but he's more athletic. So it's hard to say. But the story that bugs me about him is just what went into declaring for the draft. So, I mean, he wins the Heisman Trophy, immediately announces he's going to Major League Baseball. He's drafted by the A's. Baseball's his true love or whatever, right? And then all of a sudden the story starts coming out that he's telling the A's, you give me a $15 million contract as nothing but a draft pick right now or I'm going to the NFL. And they didn't, and now he's in the NFL. So if I'm a GM,
he's in the draft.
He's in the draft. He's in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
You're a Heisman Trophy winner. You may not go first round, but he's going to be in the NFL. And if I'm a GM that's thinking about taking him in the first round, I'm immediately questioning his love for the game. I can't help it. You know, you decided to declare for the draft because you couldn't get $50 million from the baseball team. I mean, does he love football? I'm sure he does. You know, and he won a Heisman Trophy and all of that, and maybe this is nothing. But I'm questioning that right away. I don't love how he declared for the draft. And I don't know that story's true, but that's what I heard. Did you guys hear the same?
What do you think, Seth?
Well, didn't Patrick Mahomes do something similar?
Patrick Mahomes could have been a pitcher in Major League Baseball. But he chose football right from the start.
Yeah, he was choosing football immediately from the start.
But I have a theory even on that. Here's my theory, okay?
Yeah.
These kids coming out of college, they want to be superstars. How many superstars are there really in Major League Baseball versus the NFL?
Oh, there's plenty.
There's quite a few.
There's plenty.
But in football, every quarterback, it doesn't matter whether you're the quarterback of Cleveland. This year is a little bit different to say that. But every quarterback is a star in that city.
Yeah.
Right? Very few baseball players get that kind of stardom like a starting quarterback of a football team.
Right.
I don't know.
But early you mean, right? Early.
Yeah, that's true.
But but you're talking about a Mike Trout type prospect. Like Kyler Murray was a big enough prospect that he would have been expected to have that kind of stardom right away, wouldn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, so again, I don't know if that's what was going into it, right? But he was it's not like Johnny Manziel, who was like drafted by the San Diego Padres in the 197th round or whatever.
Right.
Like this, Mahomes was drafted and would have had a legitimate shot, but he was going to play in the minors for a while, and he chose baseball right away.
Yeah.
I don't know that Murray was going to have to do that. So, he may have, but the path was there for him to be a star in baseball, and it sounds like it was a money play, right? At the end of it, like, I love them both the same, so I'm going where I get big money, right? And he will get big money in the NFL, bigger than, early stages of his Major League Baseball career, perhaps. So, yeah,
that's our odds and ends, guys.
Okay,
we are now moving on to some predictions.
Here we go.
Let's start off with Game 1. All right, Seth.
Yeah.
Game 1 is the Rams at the Saints. These two met earlier this year. The Rams won this game 45-35. Saints won this game 45-35. Good fact check there.
I got you, Ray.
Breeze threw 346 yards, 4 touchdowns. Goff put up 391 with 3 touchdowns and an interception. Where do you want to get started with this game, Seth? What are you thinking? What do you think the key points are for this game?
We talking about the game that already happened, or
no? For this game coming up this weekend.
All right. I think Aaron Donald's going to come out really big with 3 sacks.
3 sacks.
Yep. And they both have really good offenses. I don't really know about the defenses too much, but the offenses are good, so I'm calling a 31-24 game for the Rams.
Prediction right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
Yeah. It's a tough match. Saints, they both have 13-3 records in the regular season. Saints were 6-2 at home, which is where this is being played. Rams were 6-2 on the road. So it's going to come down to which coach, listen, there's going to be some luck. There's going to be some favorable calls that are going to have to come into play here for this game. This is a really, really tough matchup. You're right, they both have good offenses and they both have good defenses. They both have really good passing games. They both have really good running games.
Yeah.
The Rams, I guess, are a little weaker against the run. Is the knock on them, though? They haven't been showing that. So this is an absolute wild card for me. And, are we making our picks right away?
Yeah, if you want to make your picks.
Well, even though I'm out of the bracket challenge, I picked the Saints, facing off against another team that's already out for a shot to get into the Super Bowl. So the Saints are the NFC team that I had the most faith in to get to this point that's still alive. So I'm going to go with the home team, with the Saints, with Drew Brees pulling it out. But I expect fireworks in this one, like absolute fireworks. And I think we're going to look back at this one, and there's going to be a few key decisions by coaches and a few key particular maybe plays. Not saying bad calls. I'm just going to say favorable calls that help dictate, which side this goes to.
Right.
Yeah. But I'll go Saints, I guess. And, I'm thinking maybe slightly less scoring. One of the team in the 30s, I'll say 33-27. What was it? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
33-27?
Yeah.
All right.
Right around there.
Last week when we were talking about the Rams, if you remember, Andy, I said the key to the Rams' victory is Gurley had to put up over 100 yards and a touchdown. And if they did that, they'd win.
Okay.
Now, I never expected C.J. Anderson to come out and bang off a bunch of yardage
What a
with
good
a couple
pickup
touchdowns.
he looks like now,
Oh,
huh?
my goodness.
Yeah.
And he looks heavier than he did when he was playing with the Broncos.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Right? But listen, I love the Saints to win this game. My concern about the Saints, if they start off slow against this team like they did against the Eagles, game over. Breeze has got to get that who dat right off the get-go, and he's got to get these guys ready for the first snap. The first 10 plays on offense for the Saints are going to be the most important plays in the game because he's got to get them off to a fast start.
Yeah.
And if he can get them off to a fast start, then I think the Saints will win this game.
Yeah.
If in the first 10 plays they start off slow, I'm going Rams all the way. So I need the first 10 plays to see. But I'm going to forecast the first 10 plays will go Saints' way, and I'm going to pick the Saints to win this game 38-35.
Oh, there you go. A real tough one.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this. Maybe a question more for Ray, Seth. I'm not sure that you were old enough to, you were definitely alive, I think, but you were not, maybe not old enough to be watching this game. But
The Saints?
Do you remember the Saints Super Bowl?
No.
So the story of that game was Sean Payton going for the onside kick to start the half.
Exactly.
How many times are we going to hear about that this weekend?
This weekend, we'll probably hear about that. I'm going to set the over-under at 6.
6 times during the broadcast. Yeah, they're constantly going to go, maybe here's the onside kick. They're going to be expecting it. My goodness.
They should listen to First Down Sports because they'll know it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, and this isn't even the Super Bowl, and we're going to hear about it about 6 or 7 times because it's going to be one of those games where, like I'm saying, there's going to be a key decision that drives it. So they'll be like, well, what's the last big key decision he made? Onside kick. There you go. Yeah.
All right, that was an easy preview. This one's coming up, though.
Ooh.
Seth, here we go. Here's the bread and butter for Seth Foster. The New England Patriots are traveling to their 13th consecutive AFC championship.
8th
consecutive.
consecutive.
8th consecutive?
Yeah. 13th total?
Painful. It's painful.
It's great.
13 total. So he's got 13 total. Only 5 Super Bowls and 2 were given to him. I don't know what people are so. I don't know.
Yeah, but 2 were taken away.
2, I don't know why people are so excited. But here we go. Patriots are heading into the Chiefs. The last time these two teams played, there were fireworks. Patrick Mahomes put up 352 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Brady put up 340 yards and a touchdown. Tyreek Hill had a huge day, 142 yards and 3 touchdowns. Can the Patriots stop this well-oiled machine, the Kansas City Chiefs?
Well, I'm going to give my thoughts first because last game I think I gave the prediction a little early. Sorry about that.
No, it's
That's
all right.
good.
We
That's
knew where
good.
you stood right off the bat.
So my thoughts are Again, fireworks in this one. It's going to be crazy. Arrowhead Stadium.
Yeah.
That's a similar venue to Gillette, so that's a good one for the Patriots. I think it's similar because cold, but besides that, it's
okay, right?
actually,
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
it's actually not similar at all. But
Yeah, I was going to say, aside from being in Kansas City, but we get you. All right.
So
bigger stadium too. It's a bigger. I think it sits close to 100,000 at
Tough place
and it's
to
very
play.
open.
Yeah.
So.
Tough place to play.
Yep. And then we got the Chiefs' defense. Their secondary, I've heard, is not the greatest.
No.
But their defensive line is really good. So Pat's O-line should hold that off. And I think in this one, we are going to need I think the Pats are going to need some Brady magic to pull this out. And Gronk, he better break out. And if he doesn't,
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're going to have to give Gronk a shot or something to get the old physical pass receiving Gronk out there versus just the blocking and stuff. So, I mean, I think, same type of game, I think. I mean, the Patriots were able to match their scoring, and in the end came out on top with some good calls and so on and so forth. So the difference here is this one's not in Gillette, it's in Arrowhead. And I'm going to say that's the difference. That's the only difference. I think there's going to be another game where they both score in the 40s. But I'm going to say, and you didn't give your prediction, we'll end with yours, but I got to say, I have Kansas City win the Super Bowl this year because I think it's just lined up right for them. And I think Pat Mahomes will do enough this time in Arrowhead in front of his fans. And I'm going to pick the same score just for fun. I'm going to say 43-40, this time Chiefs.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, let me tell you my real snapshot here. I have to make a comparison here real quick. And again, this pains me to make this comparison. But I have to compare Tom Brady to Tiger Woods for a second. Okay. And I'll tell you why. Back when Tiger was on his winning streak and he was winning all these golf tournaments in a row, every time it came to the back nine of the final round, guys that were playing against him didn't have the nerve to hold up their game, the mental part of their game, against Tiger Woods. He would eat them alive from a mental capacity. And I think the biggest problem with Tom Brady is a lot of these teams that have gone in to face him over the years, the quarterback or the coaching staff doesn't have the mentality to stay mentally focused through an entire 60-minute ball game. I think that's one of the biggest challenges. He's up against a different monster in Patrick Mahomes. This kid, I haven't seen so much excitement from a young quarterback in a long time. This kid, I don't see those nerves, Andy. This kid can gun with the best of the quarterbacks in the league. Not only that, but he can make throws that I haven't seen before. This week here, he had a lineman right in front of him, and Frisbee throws the ball underneath the arm for a first down. He made another play where he runs out to the right of the sideline, jumps in the air, and throws it across his body to Kelsey in the middle of the field for a first down. Mm-hmm. This guy can make plays that other guys just can't make. And I don't know how you stop him. Then you got Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, Kelsey. He's got so many weapons to keep pushing this ball downfield. And this Williams kid that's in it, running back, he had a great game last weekend as well. Andy, I think this game's going to be a big score. I really do. And I think Tom Brady and the Patriots will bring it this weekend. But that Kansas City, the Kansas City defense plays at another level at home. On the road, they gave up 38 points average per game. At home, they only give up 16 points per game. I think the Kansas City Chiefs, I think Tom Brady's going to be not running for his life, but I think he's going to have pressure similar like he did against the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. But even saying that, I think you're going to see a game, and I'm going to call it 52-45 for the Kansas City Chiefs. 52.
Woo!
That's a big one.
That'll be an interesting game, that's for sure. I mean, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Belichick decides to do to try and stop them. What his game plan is.
If he's going to put Stephon Gilmore one-on-one with Tyreek Hill.
No, he'll have help the whole game.
He'll have help
because he
the whole
doesn't have
game.
the speed. Yeah.
Who are they going to put on the line of scrimmage against Hill? That's what I'm really interested to see Belichick. And then not only that, but I don't know if Sammy Watkins was really healthy the last time these two teams played. I'd really have, because his name wasn't in the stat sheet.
Yeah.
Now that they've got Sammy Watkins in the lineup, and he looked fantastic on Sunday, those are two speed demons, Andy. It's really going to be tough for the Patriots. 52-45 is my prediction. Chiefs. What do you got, Seth?
Me? Well, Ray, you said it. Mahomes, the kid, he doesn't know what it's like. He hasn't been there yet. So, you got to lose before you can win. And I'm picking the Pats to win this one. 41-38. And Gronk is going to break out completely. It's going to be great.
Breakout?
Breakout game.
Like break leg game? Or like
No.
mean like break out and have a good game?
You mean more of a comeback game, right?
Yeah.
Because he's kind of had his breakout, but I get what you're saying. Like, we're going to see the old
You're going to see the
Gronk
Gronk
He's
of
had a
old.
break bone, but this one's going to be a breakthrough.
And I like that. You heard that, folks, from a 13-year-old Patriots fan. You got to lose before you can win.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like that. I like that mentality.
Well, I can tell you, before you knew what the Patriots were, trust me, the Patriots did a lot of losing
They knew how to
before
lose.
they knew how to win.
And you said the 2 Super Bowls were given to the Patriots. Well, 2 were also taken away.
Come
Giants. Well, come on, right back
Eli
at ya.
Manning?
Yeah.
He's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Well, he is. for
Nothing
sure.
to say
Well,
about that.
I'll tell you what. Even if Brady loses this weekend against the Chiefs and decides to call it a career, I just want to say this, Seth, to you and all the Patriots fans out there. All right, I want to say this: if Brady loses this weekend and calls it a career, I want to tell you, you've had one heck of a quarterback. This guy has been one of the best quarterbacks of all time.
You're wasting your
One
time.
of?
And in my mind, Andy, he's a guaranteed second ballot Hall of Famer.
What are you talking? He is the GOAT, and there's no point in even saying that. Like, it's not going to happen.
And with that, thank you very much for tuning in to episode 15 of the First Down Sports Podcast. Enjoy the games this weekend, folks.
Seth, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Go, Pats, go.
Go, Pats, go.
ABC.
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 Andy, I just have one quick shout out
Yeah.
before we get out of here. I
Yeah.
mentioned his name earlier.
Yeah.
Our good pal, our good friend, Scotty Chisholm.
Hey, Scotty.
He's getting some good news. Hopefully he's going home today, which is fantastic.
Awesome.
Big friend of the show, and we wish you nothing but the best. Hope everything's healthy and you're home soon, Scotty.
All right, Scotty.
All right?
Have a good one, guys.
Let's get out of here. Enjoy the games. Go Chiefs!